Daltonic here, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you my first thoughts of 2026's upcoming Call of Duty release, Modern Warfare 4. I was able to get into the recent beta event and spend a decent chunk of time in both the multiplayer and the campaign mission that was available, and wanted to share my experience with you folks, especially for those who may be on the fence about buying the game. So, if you missed the beta event, here's everything about Modern Warfare 4 you need to know before you buy. Or everything you need to know so far. Now, before I get too deep into things, let me start by sharing my history with the franchise. See, I grew up on the original Call of Duty games, and played the Medal of Honor games before that. When I was growing up, COD was primarily known for its epic campaigns, with multiplayer as an added bonus. As time went on, multiplayer and other game modes, such as Spec Ops, Zombies, and Extinction began to flourish, resulting in a gaming franchise that year after year delivered a title that resonated with a wide variety of players. Looking for an epic story? Check. Just want something you can play PvE with your buddies? Check. Want to play against the best COD players around the world? Check. During most of this time, I fell into the group that primarily played Call of Duty games for the story. While I was and still am a huge fan of the zombies and other side modes, even when those options weren't in an upcoming title, purchasing the game still felt like a good value because I knew the story would be worth the time and money. Unfortunately today, this is no longer the case, with Call of Duty campaigns taking a significant sideline to multiplayer and zombies. While I appreciate that the trade-off has been more development to these side modes, it still makes the game feel a bit empty, especially when you compare to titles like Black Ops 3, which features not only some of the most incredible zombies maps and Easter eggs in the entire franchise, but also offers 2 full campaigns, both of which can be played co-op, and the game massively expanded multiplayer combat movement to feature the boosting, sky jumping, and wall running that was available in the campaign. So, as someone who primarily cares for the campaigns, I have to say I was pretty pleased with Modern Warfare 4's multiplayer. This felt closer to Modern Warfare 2019 than the previous 2 titles in the series, which doesn't say a whole lot, but the gunplay felt enjoyable. Both smooth and powerful, something that a lot of the COD games have been missing in recent years. I will admit I didn't play with controller, so this is exclusively based on audio response and not any sort of haptics, but firing a silenced SMG was shaking my room, with my speakers at the same standard level I use daily. It's safe to say, these guns have some oomph. The maps felt straightforward and easy to learn quickly. Because I don't play multiplayer too much, I tend not to go super ham-bony baloney in combat, choosing to clear areas from cover rather than try to sprint and slide or dive around corners. Even when matched with super sweaty players who were sprinting and diving and drop-shotting, I never felt like I was at a disadvantage, as I could learn quickly and easily where these popular dive corners were and flip the tables. The only real complaint I had about the maps is the lack of parkour or climbing, which is a new feature in the campaign that I'll talk about a bit later in this video. There were a few spots you could jump across on some maps, but never anything deliberately climbable. Maybe I just missed these, or they are omitted for balance reasons, but regardless, it would be nice to see the campaign mechanics that are going to be unique to this game feature in the multiplayer as well. Besides that though, I honestly had a great time. Emphasis on the I. Because unfortunately, one of the big issues identified during the weekend was some players were not able to connect due to hardware issues, with the game requiring a BIOS update that doesn't exist to connect to multiplayer lobbies. I saw this affected a multitude of players, including my buddy Crispy, who's made appearances in many of my co-op streams. That alone was a massive bummer, not being able to play multiplayer with a party of multiple players. But this issue I will take with a huge grain of salt, as it was just a beta. If this issue is present in the full release, I think it's an easy decision of don't buy. But I'll bite my tongue on that determination for now. Alright, let's talk about the campaign. For just the fact there even was a campaign mission, I have to give this beta a gold star. This feels like the dev team is at least cognizant of who wants to play their game, and I say this because, just like me, I'm sure there's a lot of gamers out there who have moved away from COD in recent years because the games haven't given you what you were looking for. Whether it's the overabundance of microtransactions, the silly in-game cosmetics, or just the over-focus on multiplayer modes and lack of development or passion with the campaigns, I'm sure there's more than a few gamers out there in the same boat as me. Personally, I want to play the new Call of Duty games on day one. I want to enjoy them and spend every Friday night up late with the boys gaming, just like the good old days. But the past few games have not been made for us. And that's okay. The target audience changed. And so the old audience, we moved on to new IPs or back to older titles in the franchise. But if Activision does decide to switch focus, a lot of us would gladly jump back into a game that feels both refreshing and nostalgic. So seeing a glimpse of campaign feels like at least an acknowledgement from the dev team that maybe they know they fucked up. And I want to hope that's the case, and they're saving all the goods for this October. But the big frustration with the campaign level is the duration. For those who want to watch the full mission, a link to my gameplay is available in the description of this video. And if you click over, you'll notice the video length is about 30 minutes total, cutscenes included. Again, I will take this fact with a huge grain of salt, as the game isn't fully released, so of course Activision doesn't want to give too much away, and hopefully this is just the brief intro mission to a long, arduous campaign. But it's hard not to reflect on the recent campaigns and be a bit skeptical that, if this is the first mission of the game, and it's only 30 minutes to complete on veteran difficulty, then we might be looking at another 4 to 5 hour long campaign. If you were hoping for something epically long, prepare yourself for disappointment now. Playing through the mission felt enjoyable at least. Storming trenches through an onslaught of machine gun and artillery fire felt like classic COD, and the new climbing mechanic seems like it could offer some exciting new ways to approach missions if it's applied well throughout the game. The climbing is a bit wonky, but just the fact that COD is taking steps forward is exciting. The new mechanic adds scaling and shimmying pipes and ledges for access to new vantage points, something that could completely change the game and make both the main story and the multiplayer shine among recent installments if implemented well. Hopefully this is a core mechanic and not something that was just sprinkled on top at the last minute. But the lack of its appearance in the multiplayer mode makes me very skeptical about how often the mechanic will be featured. So, what is the verdict? Wishlist or ditch this game? While the beta showed a lot of promise, I definitely wouldn't say I was excited. It was good, but it wasn't good like, oh, it was so good. It was more like, meh, it was good. There was enough that I'm interested, but not enough I would be grabbing my wallet to pre-order the game. So Modern Warfare 4 beta is going to get a rating of hold. Hold until there's way more information, because these folks can't be trusted to deliver. And while what they're showing looks good, looks good, it seems more likely we're going to get another diluted campaign with a game that primarily caters to the multiplayer parts of the fanbase. Which, by all means, if that's you, if you love the COD MP loop and that's what you primarily play, that's awesome. Don't take my advice here. Pre-order the game, you're going to have an awesome time. But let's be honest, you are probably going to buy the game no matter what. For those of us hoping for the return of the campaign king, it doesn't look like it's happening this year. I'll be sure to update this review close to day one of the game's release, October 23rd, but until then, wait on those pre-orders until you know for sure you're getting your money's worth. Thanks for watching this review. If you want to see more of the Modern Warfare 4 campaign, you can find the link to my playthrough of the first mission in the description below. This is Daltonic signing off.